Now there's a sculpture here. Some nice relief work in the structure there. Interesting that it's open on the back side here. Needs a little paint there. But we're going to go over to this other side. You can see here they hold weddings here. Another sculpture, a couple sculptures. Wow, look at this one. I guess they just cast a tree and made a sculpture out of that. All right, let's check this out. Yeah, I was talking to the gentleman in there, and like being back here kind of like refreshed my memory. We were talking about antiques and things I would do and where places I would go and hobbies. We used to be antique bottle collectors. And so we would go find these old, and see, look, even here on this old garage, each one of those faces is different. It's pretty wild. But we would do antique bottle collecting, and so my dad would research at the local library and find out where the old landfills used to be. And so we would go out to those old landfills. That was a weekend thing. We'd hit the old landfills and go digging for bottles. Here's a technique to all of that. I was saying there's no telling what we were digging in. Look at the beautiful ironwork here. It's gorgeous. Wow, that reminds me of the Garden of Good and Evil statue. Very similar. Like even this floor. So I guess this is a mini outdoor chapel here. Very cool. Very cool. And the fact that they would have even put these little decorative molding along these walls is pretty amazing. On here. So yeah, I can see why weddings would be held here. I'm glad we have a good light today. It's all overcast, but that makes it perfect for filming. The nativity scene here. Merry Christmas. And I guess these are the three wise men. The three gentlemen kings, as Bimbo Barbarella music program wrote for last year's Christmas music that she did. With God, all things are possible. It's interesting that they have the hand symbol there. I love the birds as the corner pieces Unfortunately, that needs some repair work very soon. And I know it would disrupt the look a little bit, but I would be tempted to go ahead and put a cable up there sooner rather than later. I know it wouldn't be very attractive, but it looks necessary right now until they can get the proper repairs done. Flowers on the back side here. And they were on the front side as well. Just kind of overwhelmed with everything else, so. Stood at the gate of life and said, "Give me a light that I may go safely into the unknown." And a voice replied, "Go out into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. That will be to you better than a light and safer than a known way." Interesting. Have the peacocks here. When I was a kid, there was a dirt road called Meisner over here, and I think I've told this story before, but some of you are new. And I do have playlists, so if you're new and want to look at some of my travel stuff, feel free. But on Meisner Avenue, it was this old dirt road you could go down, and you could feed the peacocks and watch the peacocks. They had white, they had the multicolored, and they had these majestic oak trees. Well, you know, it's Florida. Oh, look, these were painted at one time. I guess they were red dogwoods. But yeah, you could go down this road and feed the peacocks. But a developer bought the land and built a bunch of pretty expensive homes. And the peacocks, of course, they're very protective of their mates and everything, so they're pecking at their Mercedes and they're mad. So, I mean, the peacocks, I don't know how long they'd been there. But I lived here in the 60s, so I was looking at that in the 60s. I don't know, the houses may have been built in the 2000s. So yeah, I kind of find it funny. You displace the peacocks and then expect them to behave. Probably isn't going to happen. This also was painted red. I wonder if the whole thing was painted red. Interesting. I'm going to have to do some historical research on this. It's very cool. Looks like W.D. Wolf. If I read that correctly. Indigenous peoples. It's interesting that even amongst the Mayan Deco architecture that they had, you know, still paid a tribute to the indigenous peoples. Another floor, a lot more designs. This design right here, where is it? This one? It, I don't know, for some reason it reminded me of more modern artist Herring. Wow. All kinds of animals. There's a turtle over here even. There's a fish over here. Is that another rabbit? Could be. Where is it? I think, because it almost looks like it has 2 ears, but it could be a bird. Interesting. 2 fish. Faces. At first I thought there were a lot of similar tiles, but so many are different. And here around the hearth. I'd love to have that as a fireplace mantle. Wow. These are pretty well preserved here. So I guess the sunflowers that we saw over there also would have been painted this color. And you can see here where it's become discolored just because the rain can come in there. So over the years, it's done a bit of destruction. Wow. I don't know how I could have missed this place. I had friends in Eatonton growing up, like in the 70s. So I spent a bit of time over there. Look at these oaks above us. I'd be tempted to take them down simply to preserve the building. Obviously that's modern. I'm gonna guess that a limb came down and this was put up later, obviously. That's pretty cool. But yeah. Well, like I said, they do have some supports on the back side of this. But I don't see any side support. They need some side support badly. But yeah, this is fascinating. There are just so many cool, quiet areas to hang out around Central Florida. And unfortunately, everybody comes here. They do Disney and, everything else. SeaWorld, Universal. But they never take the time. Look at this. How beautiful is that? They never take the time. And this is a wisteria vine above us. They never. I bet it's beautiful in the spring. But they never take the time to check out, like, the hidden Florida. Which, hey, even with Disney, it's kind of exciting at first. But when we went to Disney, they had e-tickets. So you had to buy tickets, ticket book. And they'd have tickets A, B, C, D, E. If you've ever heard a reference to, that's an e-ticket. Well, it meant that the e-ticket was Sorry, somebody's run their vacuum over here. I'll get in the car and then I'll finish this story. All right, it's a little more quiet here. You can get a better look at these little masks here while I talk. So the e-ticket was for, of course, at the time they didn't even have Space Mountain. So e-ticket would have been, oh gosh, one of the, it'd be the haunted house. Or it would be, what is it? It's a Small World. It would be that one because those are really popular. The Bear Band Jamboree might be a D ticket or something. But anything on Main Street, like any of the rides there, and the Penny Arcade where you could go see the Mickey movie, those were all A tickets. C ticket probably would have been the Skyway. And you get the picture. So, and those at the time in the 70s, they were like $25 a booklet. And so we would go and we'd get one booklet each, and we'd go as a family and decide what rides. And that was it. We'd go and have lunch in the parking lot, no shade. And Mom would, make sandwiches and drinks. We'd have a cooler, and we never ate in the park. And that's probably why I still do that when I travel a lot of times. I like a good picnic. But although as an adult, I pick better places in parking lots. But yeah, so these kind of places were always a lot more fascinating to me. And if not for even the architecture or the art or the museum, just the grounds and the flowers and the fauna and the oak trees, and especially in the summertime, it's a nice relief under these huge oaks compared to hanging out in the summer sun. Anyway, get to Central Florida. Check out some of the odd things. Check out the little pocket parks. Check out around Rollins College, downtown Winter Park. This is Maitland. So, Winter Park's right next door. So you can make a day of just Winter Park, Maitland, and the surrounding area. Take care. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you later.